Sparking Change for Harmonious Living is a TV show that inspires action. It motivates you to start a journey towards a more balanced, fulfilling life. This show explores well-being through spirituality, mental clarity, and physical health. It covers topics like mindfulness, nutrition, fitness, and spirituality, giving you practical advice to enhance your life. Tune in for a transformative adventure that ignites the change you seek.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sparking Change for Harmonious Living. I am your host, Giovanna Tartarone.
And I'm your co-host, Ahmed Bahman.
Welcome, everyone. And today we're going to talk about harnessing the power of discipline for us to live more harmoniously. And I tell you, if we're not disciplined, it's very hard to achieve success in life. You know, we studied from Napoleon Hill principles, discipline and having that mental control of your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions are the foundation of discipline and how we can get to where we want to be in life. Do you agree, Ahmed?
Absolutely. And as Bob always said, if you don't have self-discipline, you won't amount to anything.
Yeah, because really self-discipline is about being in control of your thoughts, your mind, right? But and not being distracted by the outside world and just following your purpose and your passion without giving in, because it's very hard to give in. I know, I used to be an ex-smoker, and I tried to smoke, and I tried to discipline myself and do all that I could, but it was a mental game for me, and then finally I stopped when I got the bad news. But being disciplined is crucial to anything that we want to achieve in life, whether it is, a goal, or you want to go to school, or you want to lose weight, making that commitment to yourself. And like you said, it's you give yourself a command and you follow it and you become
Yes.
disciplined. So it's all about what we can do. And today's topic is about what can we do to be more disciplined and how we can
You
achieve
know,
that.
it was an interesting thing you mentioned that you were an ex-smoker, but then you disciplined yourself in order to let go. And if we look at it from a neutral point of view, everybody's actually practicing anything, whether good or bad, in a disciplined manner, right?
Yeah, right.
But the thing is, when you are actually disciplined in a certain matter or a certain way of conditioning or way of living or lifestyle, when you want to change that discipline, this is where it gets difficult. That's what most people confuse. They feel discipline is hard. No, it's just initially when you take those steps, you're going against an old conditioning, trying to alter it to a better new you. And it requires a bit of time before things start to smooth out and it becomes the norm. And it's
Yeah.
interesting how you manage to steer your way out from where you were to be where you wanted to be. And you became that person into the process. And this is something that anybody can do.
Absolutely. And it's being committed to yourself, right? It's being
Yes.
committed to yourself that you're taking the small actions and you're doing it every day and every day, every day, and eventually you'll succeed. You have no other choice but to succeed if you take those steps every day. I know there are 10 rules that Napoleon Hill talks about for profitable self-discipline. Let's go over those 10 rules because I really think those are something that everyone should know.
Absolutely. So, it's something of value that if you do follow these principles, you can basically alter the outcomes of the
Hmm.
situations that you may be facing. For example, number one is you got to keep cool when other people get hot, right? So, for example, if
Respond, don't
yeah,
react, right? Because if you're
res-
keeping
res-
cool, you're responding. Love that.
absolutely, and you're taking a moment, you're stepping back in order to analyze the situation, It could be 2 seconds, it could be five
Mm,
seconds for some, right? But at least you know you've given yourself an opportunity to respond in a more positive manner, right? To neutralize the situation. Like if what happens when you put fire and fire together? You amplify the flame.
right.
So
Absolutely.
when one side is cool, the other side is hot. Eventually, it has to neutralize. There's always two sides of a coin.
Absolutely. And you're in control of your thoughts.
You're in control of your
I
thoughts.
love that.
Absolutely. Number two, remember that there are three sides to all arguments. Most people believe that there is two, but there's actually three. Now, there is my side, for example, there's your side, but then also there is a right side to each of the sides.
Never thought of it that way. Never
So
thought of it
there's,
that way. Yeah.
for example, like if I would grab a book, now on one side you will find that there is the title of the book, and the other side is blank. And if I tell you this book is, for example, Think and Grow Rich from Napoleon Hill, I know it is. And I ask the person in front of me, "Do you believe that this is the book of Think and Grow Rich?" He doesn't see any writings on the back. He goes, "No."
Right.
So he's right, and I'd be right at the same time. You see, but again, we're discussing regarding the same thing. So it's all about understanding the other person's perspective. A healthy way of communication can lead to a harmonious conversation.
Absolutely. Hence why it'd be profitable, right?
Absolutely. That's how negotiations happen, I believe.
That's right. That's right. And what's number
Three,
three?
okay, never give directives to a subordinate when you are angry. And the reason is that you could be telling them something that you are basically reacting to, and you say something that is could be detrimental to the company, to you as a person, to the family. And it says here, if the matter is urgent, then cool off quickly. Because when your mind is in a cool state,
Yes.
that you're calm, you can give a more wiser
This,
directive,
yes, of
more
course.
decisive, more harmonious, and you'll be thinking along the lines of, how to be constructive rather than being destructive.
Yes. And this is all about being like disciplining yourself, having control of yourself. Discipline is really controlling yourself in every situation. It's not just, I want to lose weight. I want to discipline myself in not eating ice cream, every night. It goes far beyond that, far beyond that. Like what we're talking right now, in order to have success in life, it's being disciplined in so many different areas of our life, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's the consistency that in the application,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
as you said earlier. So it's how we incorporate them in our daily life. And a small, consistent effort over time will produce huge results.
And being persistent. That's another
Yes,
thing we learned. It's like the sister to discipline. Discipline and persistent, they go together. They're like family, right? We must
hand
have
in
them
hand.
together.
And I love what you mentioned, the point of family, which takes us to number four. Treat all people as nearly as possible as if they were rich relatives whom you expect to be remembered in their will.
Wow. That is so beautifully said,
So
right? Because we don't look at it
yeah,
that way.
it's not about like if even yourself, like if you would practice with everybody to be remembered in a good way by whoever you leave off, better
Mm-hmm.
than where they have met you, then you've
Mm-hmm.
done your job. It's more about leaving everyone with the impression of
Of
increase.
increase.
It's a beautiful way to live because you're putting out such a beautiful energy towards everyone.
And that's
You're
what you're going to
showing
get
them
back.
That's what you're going to get
That's what
back.
you're going to get back, right?
If you value people, people will value you.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5, look for the seed of an equivalent benefit in every unpleasant circumstance. Now, people say, yeah, but I see something is wrong here. No, but you have a choice to see the blessing of whatever happened and be grateful for that. And when he said that look for the seed of an equivalent benefit, it doesn't mean
Mm-hmm.
that the equivalent benefit is there yet. But he said the seed, which means there is a starting point for
Point.
something yet greater to come.
And
And this,
understanding that and being open to receive is another important factor.
absolutely. And to receive as well, if you try to find the blessing in every little circumstance or adversity that you may be facing, you're actually, with gratitude, you open the key of abundance to unlimited supply. So it's
Absolutely.
only at the times that we fall short of being grateful is when the supply gets stagnant or locked temporarily for the time
Mm-hmm.
being, until we realize where we have been missing in our own self reflection, and until we correct it, things will start to move again.
Yeah. So we're talking about here how discipline can actually be profitable if we are following these 10 rules. So what's the next rule?
Number 6, learn the almost forgotten art of asking questions and then listening to the answers. So basically, it says when you're angry, the temptation is very great to respond in anger.
Mm-hmm.
And he says that I know this because I've been there many times. So he said, be bigger than that. He said, listen to what other people has to say. When somebody makes a statement that you're not sure about, just ask just one question. So, it says, "How do you know?" For an example, like many times that people may talk about certain things, right? But it may not be something that you may agree with, but it doesn't mean that it could not be true. So
Mm.
it's just being a bit polite and just asking, "How do you know?" And ask for an explanation. I'm sure there is always a reason, or there is an information that it can help you actually to put the puzzles together. So this
Sure.
forms a greater understanding and a healthier way to communicate as well.
And just being respectful, right, of each other's ideas and thoughts.
Absolutely. Number 7, never say or do anything that may influence another person without first asking yourself if it will help or hurt someone. Now, this is a very great lesson here, because at times, we may be thinking we want to have something or to reach somewhere, but in the process, if it's going to hurt someone, then don't say anything, because whatever happens in the process, if it's not helping others, if it's doing the contrary, then that can come back to you as well over time. Now, you don't know how or when it's going to happen, but I've seen many cases where people raise up and then just lose it all.
I believe what comes around goes around, good or bad.
Absolutely. Sometimes, if it's either a choice between doing what's easy and doing what's right, it's better to stick with doing what's right, regardless how difficult it may be. Just know, if you trust the process, something greater will always show up at your doorstep, and you'll be so grateful for that.
It's either we're working from the ego or we're working from the heart. You pick your
From the heart.
choice. I
Absolutely.
believe that.
Number
Okay.
8, learn the difference between friendly analysis and unfriendly criticism. Then decide which you wish to live by in your relations with others,
Mm.
right? So sometimes people may basically tell you something, a little comment, a little feedback about you as a person or about the things that you do in your life, right? So you can usually feel the intention of the person saying behind all of that. But in other words, you have a choice as well to decide how it may affect you mentally and emotionally. Now, as Bob always said, when somebody would tell him a comment, basically what you think of me is none of my business. You know,
You know, he used to say that too, Dr. Wayne Dyer. He said the same
that
thing.
Dr. Wendell. And
Yeah.
and basically, you can respond to them and say, "Well, thank you for your opinion, but that's not what I believe about myself."
Yeah. No,
you
I
know,
love that.
just
I love that.
just just a polite response in a way, and you just carry on. And for those kind of people, whether it's friends or family, and there have been probably long time business associates that you deal with. You don't want to cut the lines off. As Bob always said, well, don't visit too often, and if you do, leave early. So
So let's go deeper into when you're trying to discipline yourself. You said before you're trying to change your habits.
yes,
So let's talk about how they can do that.
c-
There's
changing the
ways that we can try to be more disciplined and, step into our purpose, being in alignment with our purpose, and really staying focused. And that's where discipline is required in order for us to be in alignment with what we're going after, right? In order to be success and to
absolutely.
achieve our
So
goal.
initially, you have to acknowledge where you are in life, not
Mm.
not physically, but situational wise, right? And mentally and emotionally, and you have to accept, okay, this is where I am. But then that's not enough. You need to as well adopt a definite purpose and plan to carry it out. Now,
And have a
why
positive mental attitude. Let's remember
positive
that,
mental attitude?
right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Mm.
As Bob always said, you need to know where you are and you need to know where you're going. So until you have a clear, concise
Organized
statement,
planning.
organized
Organized plan
planning.
is another thing that we learn, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then you take those steps into carrying them out. Now, even if you do, like, let's say if you have a task of six things, six daily activities that you need to accomplish.
Hmm.
If you don't finish six of them, it's fine. If you manage to do even one, it's fine. But as long as you keep progressing on a daily basis, you're going to form the habit of changing yourself. You will feel better about it within, like, if you practice daily, within a couple of weeks. You're going to see, you shock yourself. I always wanted to do these steps for months or probably a couple of years. I've been thinking about it, but it never happened. But when you start to write them down, as Bob said, it's already yours. You
And
decree your destiny.
beautiful. And this is what we do at the Napoleon Hill Institute. We have a discipline camp at 5:30 every morning, Monday to Friday. We get up and we're writing down our goal. We're writing down our gratitude, three, things that we're grateful for. We're meditating, and it's every morning for 30 days, and you see people really transforming. You see people transforming because they are stepping into what they want to be, and they start changing the habits. And
And
when you become more powerful than your mind, and you have control of your mind, that is where I believe the winning formula is, right? Instead of your mind taking control of you.
as
Um,
Bob as Bob always said, when he discussed about JFK, and he spoke to uh, the father of the space technology, and at that time, which was Victor von Braun, and he said, "What would it take, for us to go to the moon and then land safely back to Earth?" And he said just one thing. He said the will to do it.
That's
If you're
right.
willing, you'll always find a way to change, to be better, to be disciplined.
Where there's a will, there's a way, for sure. There's a
Where
reason
there's a
why they
will.
say that, right? um, there was another section we wanted to mention,
Yes,
which is, let's
regarding
step
the
into, it's okay, let's
the
step
app-
into the negative side. I do want to talk about what happens when we do not use discipline in our life, when we're not disciplined, how, and losing control of what we really want.
well, if the what is going to be the cost of lack of self-discipline?
Mm.
One, you're not going to be in harmony with yourself. Uh, Two, neither with your environment, peers. Uh, your The things that you want to accomplish in life will be far-fetched dreams,
Will be
right?
just a wish, right? Would
Wishful
only be a
thinking.
wish because you don't, yeah, you're not taking the necessary actions to discipline yourself to make it come, to
No,
make it happen.
and and you know, um, you won't be living a more fulfilled life. You're not gonna be having self-content because it requires effort, right? And apart from that, you'll always be in a state of separation from the things that you want to have or be as a person.
And then you feel
So
like you're the victim.
victim mentality would definitely kick in if you're not self-disciplined mentally as well. So that's another
Yeah,
one. You'll be
yeah,
depressed because you can't control your emotions. You're not disciplined there as well. You'll be unhealthy because, let's say, you're not keeping your body in a disciplined regimen on a daily basis. So it's all about, the negatives is basically the consequences of the absence of having self-discipline, and it all
yeah,
starts with you. Nobody can do it for you.
absolutely. And just taking small steps. You don't have to take a big step. You don't have to take the whole step. They say there's an actual picture that shows, just discipline starts with just taking one step, making a commitment to yourself, doing one little thing to build that new habit. And there's so many things that you can do to just, again, and you said it before, Med, no one else can do it. No one else can do it for you.
And 1,000 miles starts with a single step. So instead of saying one day, make it day one.
That
Do
was
it for
so
you.
good. I like that. Say
Do
that
do it
again.
for
Instead of
you.
saying one day, make it day one.
Make it day one.
That was very
You can
good. I like
start
that.
right now. It doesn't matter in what area in your life. There is a huge wheel of, or cycle of life, right? Could be in your relationships, could be in your finances, could be in your behaviors, on how nice you may be able to treat others nicer. Could be in any area in your life. Could be that you want to be more physically fit, but always try to empower yourself in any area of your life. Instead of saying I can't,
Hmm.
ask yourself, how can I? And those answers will be revealed to you over time. If you keep asking yourself, the moment you say I can't, you're stopping your subconscious from popping up the answers to you.
Yeah.
Just trust your inner guidance. Everybody has this moral compass, if I would want to say, the inner
Yeah.
navigation that leads you onto a brighter, more abundant, healthier, happier life.
And when we talk about, having a balanced life, it's about truly listening to that inner guidance that's always talking to you. and always trying to steer you in the right direction. But it is a requirement to discipline yourself, to even listen to that little voice and being quiet and being still, to get the messages that are meant for you so that you can live more harmoniously. And final thoughts, Ahmed, because we're coming to a landing.
Well, everything in your life, the way things are going, you have formed these current disciplines that you've carried with you, but you've carried them with you over time until you became it. You can reverse it by making wiser use and choices of where you want to be. And by being, everything else will start to change.
So beautiful. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. I'm your host, Giovanna Torreon. Until next week.
Co host Ahmed Bahman. See you next week. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for joining me on Sparking Change for Harmonious Living. I hope that our episode today has ignited a spark within you to create positive change in your own life and in the world around you. To learn more about how you can become a guest or supporter, head over to sparkingchangenow.com. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider subscribing, sharing, and leaving a review. Your feedback is incredibly valuable to me, and it helps me to continue producing content that sparks change in each of us and the world. You can find us on various platforms, including Google Play Store, Apple App Store, YouTube, Facebook, Roku, Android TV, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Thank you again for watching, and I look forward to having you join me again next week on Sparking Change for Harmony.